Today we're going to be going over how to spray paint your AR15. This is one of my ARs. If you guys have any questions of how and why I set it up the way I did, just comment below and we'll get a video on how to set up your AR15. But today we're going to be going over the do's and don'ts of how to spray paint your AR to match your kit. Okay, so it's really easy to prep and tape off your weapon to be painted. So step one is start at the rear and work forward. So with the buttstock, you don't want it all the way collapsed, because when you put it to the proper size for you, it'll expose the black that we're trying to expose up. So for me, I keep my weapon about right there, so I just put it there. Make sure it's on safe. Make sure there's a dry magazine in to cover the magazine well. Make sure the dust cover is closed, and make sure that you identify any pieces of glass that's on your weapon in order to be taped off. Don't get too crazy about when you put the tape on. Don't get too worried about it getting in places that you think it shouldn't be. As long as the dust cover is covered, the magazine well is closed, and all the glass is painted, the weapon will be just fine. Don't worry about it being on the barrel or on the muzzle device. When it gets hot, it'll bake it on and most of the excess will burn off. I will say, if you have a muzzle device that is threaded, that takes a suppressor, you should tape off the threads and protect it from the suppressor. But other than that, it should be very quick and really easy to tape and prep off your gun. Okay, so when spraying your AR, you don't want to get too close and you don't want to be too far. You want to be generally 6 to 8 inches away from your weapon, and you want the paint to sort of rain onto the gun. If you're too close, you'll get too concentrated paint and you'll create tiger stripes that don't always look good. So, second step, make sure you shake up your paint, make sure you test it, make sure it looks good. 6 to 8 inches, spread back, or start from the back to the front. Okay, now we'll let that dry for 15 to 20 minutes and we'll flip it over. So some of you may be wondering, why are we painting it black? Because the weapon was already black. Well, this is flat black and that's metallic black. So you want the base layer to get rid of any metallic coloring on it. So all the shiny metal, all the shiny screws. Example of the trigger, it's got a little bit of paint on it now, but as we go forward, the trigger will go from silver to camo, even though it'll get rubbed off as you get forward. But you want this flat black base, and the colors will take onto it better. If you just spray tan or green or gray or any sort of color like that, it's going to stick and it's going to pop on the metallic colors. You want the flat black to kind of start a good clean base. Okay, now that it's dry and we have a nice flat black base, we're gonna go ahead and flip it over and do the other side. This is where I would speed it up and put music on. Okay, so now that we have our nice flat black layer on both sides, now we're gonna add our filler layer, which is gonna be tan. But first, it's really important to go back to the original side so that the second side that we did has the same amount of time to cure as the first side. So now we have our filler layer. It's a lot more sensitive when it comes to the spraying technique. So the black, you can get away with a lot because it's black on black. You're just turning it from metallic to flat. But with the tan, every piece of spray paint is going to be noticed and stick. So you really need to make sure you stay even, really stay 68 inches away, and really don't concentrate too much on one spot. And you want to try to chunk the tan through. Okay, so it looks something just like this. So not too much, not too little. So you want to double check. You want to go back through, see if there's any high spots or low spots. So we have some good high spots with the tan right here. That's what we want. We have some good low spots of black. As we look through, you can see some low spots. So that's good because that's how camouflage works. It breaks up straight lines and patterns, and it gives you a kind of a blob of a color. It doesn't allow your eyes to adjust to certain angles. So this looks really good. I might hit some couple spots on the top that I haven't hit yet, but other than that, I'm really happy with this. I might put a little bit more paint on it just to make it a little thicker. That's it. We'll wait for the 15 minutes and we'll flip it over to the other side. Hey, I just gotta say, this is coming out pretty good. I'm excited for the final product. Same thing, you can see how much flat black it is. A lot better than we started out with. There's a nice good canvas. Okay, so now that our filler layer is complete and dry, I'm really happy with it, by the way. We're gonna go back to the original side. God, it looks good. So we're gonna put our top layer on, which is gonna be the OD green. So this one, you wanna be just as gentle, but you wanna kind of hit it at different angles. You wanna kind of come upwards. You wanna get in the spots that you may not have necessarily focused on in the beginning, like some of these upper Picatinny rails, underneath the flashlights. Kind of wanna make sure that you really put this on there because this is the top coat. This is the color that's dominant to the eye. So this is what's gonna blend in with the bed the most. Same thing, test it out. There we go. Dry. All right, so far so good. Flip it over, last side.